I wanted to make a quick update video kind of explaining why it's been a while since I've posted anything and kind of show what I'm working on at the moment. This is our new place. I actually had to move out of the other house, and this is eventually going to be my workshop area, although right now it's pretty messy. But what I wanted to show in this video is something I've been doing for a while, and I kind of recommend it to anyone. For a while, especially when I was younger, I had very messy networking setups. In a few cases, the cable modem and router and a pile of wires in the corner sufficed as a networking setup. And I've started doing this now recently, and I wanted to show an example. This here on the table is a small board. It's a shelving material basically, and what I've done is I've mounted the cable modem, which I've disconnected now to measure the holes on. This is the router, the old one, and I've got a power strip on there as well. This is one of my smaller boards. I actually had a board quite some time ago that had some other things mounted on it, such as a network TV tuner and other things. What I'm doing now is I'm making a new board for my new setup, and I've just gotten started here, and I thought maybe I should make a video about it. This is a bigger board. This is probably about a foot longer and about 3 or 4 inches wider. And what I've already done here is I've mounted my brand new router. This is the recently released WRT 1900 AC by Linksys, or Belkin if you want to call it that. And I've already mounted this on here. I haven't attached the antennas yet because I'm waiting till I get the board mounted up on the wall. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have everything facing this side of the board. And then on the back side is where I can tidily mount all the cables. I've got all sorts of little cable clips and things. I make my own custom network cables, as I'm sure many of you do, and I also have the materials to make coax cables, although I tend not to make too many of those. It's probably a 1 or 2. I also have a bunch already that are different sizes I can probably use with very little waste. And when these boards are all set up and done, everything is routed very neatly, down the back side or down one side. In this case, everything was mounted on this side of the board, but the way it's going to be up on the wall here, once this is mounted on the wall, I want all the lights to be this direction, because if they're shining out the back, I can't see what's going on. So right now I've got the router mounted, and I'm working on now setting up for the cable modem. This old router unfortunately is gonna say goodbye very soon here today, or maybe tomorrow, depending on how far I get. The story behind this is a Buffalo Air Station. It's based on the WRT 54G platform, but it's not the same exact hardware as the Linksys one was. It is compatible with all those firmwares though, although I'm still running the stock firmware on there because I didn't need any of those features. I was considering using traffic monitoring at one point when our internet usage was warned, even though we weren't really downloading anything, just because of Netflix and other things, and I wanted to see what was using all the traffic. But that kind of subsided, and I realized we were only using about 30 gigabytes a month, which really isn't a lot in comparison to other things. So this thing is going to be saying goodbye, but the thing about this router is I've been using it for about 10 years, and I actually got it for a penny, or a penny plus the cost of a stamp if you want to look at it that way. One of the local electronics stores by us was having a sale when they first opened up, and it was $50 or $50.01 with a $50 rebate or something like that. So basically for the cost of a penny plus a stamp and running to the bank to cash the rebate check, I got that for essentially free. A couple of my friends bought them at the same time, and theirs all took a dump pretty quickly. They were broken within a year or two, but mine has held out and it's been wonderful. The Wi-Fi signal strength these days kind of leaves a little bit to be desired, but overall it's been working great, and I can't say anything bad about it, and I'll keep it around just as a backup, or if I need to create a small network for testing purposes if I'm working on some other kind of electronics or anything like that. So That's been good, but unfortunately it's going to say its last words hopefully here in a few hours. So right now I'm working on, like I said, setting up this board, get everything mounted, and just getting started on that. So I'll continue working on that, but I just wanted to show this, and I'll show another update when it's done. Well, I'm making progress on the wiring setup. Here's what I've got so far. There's a lot of extra wiring in the house that's going to be stashed in this box that's been already mounted to the wall. The cable company actually provided a distribution amplifier here and hooked up most of the cable lines to the rest of the house. Unfortunately, we're not using them, but that's what they wanted to do. And here's my setup. Down on the bottom here I've got the power, a couple of free outlets in case I need them. Above that I've got the network tuner, and I've only got one thing more to do with that. I need to make a small cable that goes from here up to the router. There's the cable modem, and then there's the new Linksys WRT 1900 AC router. It's hooked up and it's working right now. Got lights on, Wi-Fi is blinking and whatnot. Well, there it is. Tried to keep things fairly neat and clean. Just makes you feel better about it, honestly. I'll close up this box. I've got the lid for it. I'll close that up, and things will be fairly clean and nice. A couple of friends and relatives have asked me how easy it is to make your own network cables, and I just wanted to make a little sidebar in this video about that. What I use to make network cables is actually very simple. I think it cost me about $20. It's a DataShark network toolkit. You can pick this up probably at a hardware store. I think I got mine at Home Depot. I don't know if they still sell it or not. I think it was about $20. It may be more now, but probably not that much more, maybe $30 at the most. And this is what comes in it. You get this paper, which I recommend keeping, even laminating if possible, just to keep it in there. And it comes with the actual crimp tool that does the connectors. It comes with a really handy wire cutter trimmer. In the end here it does different types of coax and other cables, and then on this end you can do flat stuff, or if you're trimming off your network connectors you can do that. And it also comes with a punch down tool, which has a nice little handy protective edge on the end of it there. What the punch down tool is for, if you're not familiar with it, is if you're actually wiring up wall jacks. Many of you have seen a plate where it has just 6 blank holes. You can put whatever kind of connectors you want in there. This is a connector for a wall jack, and there's the color coding on the back, and you actually need a punch down tool to connect the wires to the back of this connector here. There's a little cap, can't remove it one-handed, but there's a little cap, and you put the wires under there and you push this cap down. The other thing I recommend for networking is getting just a small flat flush cutter for wires. It's just handy. You'll probably need it at some point, especially when you strip back the cable and there's that little wiring, that little nylon wiring inside that you use to pull back the insulation. You can cut that off when you're done so it's not sticking out or hanging out. The other thing obviously you're going to need, and I think this kit actually comes with a few. This box I've purchased lately. It doesn't have the insert in anymore for the brand, but this is basically the network ends that you're going to need. This is a box of 25. I think they sell them in 10, 25, and 50. This is a RJ45. This kit will actually also do telephone wiring as well if you want to make your own telephone cables. The sheet doesn't, I believe, say anything about telephone. No, it does not. But that one is a little bit simpler because you only really need 2 wires, or 4 if you're lucky, I guess. But the crimp tool does do telephone in this hole, the secondary hole there. So really with this kit you can do network cables, coax for your home entertainment like your cable line, and also telephone. And that's pretty handy, really. If you're going to do actual crimping of coax, you're going to need a separate connector kit or crimping tool for those, which is not included in this kit, but the wire stripper is very handy, so that's nice. That's how I make my cables, nothing special. I'm sure you can find tutorials online on how to actually crimp it, but the tools you'll need are just this. So I'm almost done with my wiring here. I made my cable for this one for the HDTV tuner, and all I need to do is make one more cable. I've actually done one end of it already for my, oh, that's not the cable. Anyway, for my workshop computer down here, and then I'll be done.